This week will be on President Trump's incoming administration, many facing their Senate confirmation hearing starting tomorrow.
First on the schedule, Doug Collins for Secretary of Veterans Affairs, then Doug Burgum for Secretary of Interior, and Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, for more, let's welcome in Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, great to have you on this morning. Good morning to you. So what are you expecting from Pete Hegseth's hearing tomorrow, and what are you hearing from your colleagues? Does he have enough support?
Good morning. Well, I'm not on armed services, so I won't be in his confirmation hearing. But I met with Pete and got a lot of phone calls from people who've worked with him as well, and they're very good references. So, I think he'll be able to handle the questions. There'll probably be some pretty pointed questions, probably coming from both sides of the aisle. But again, based on my meeting with him, I think Pete will do just fine.
Yeah, Senator, some of the other hearings that are scheduled to take place Wednesday, Thursday include Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, Chris Wright, Scott Bessent, and Lee Zeldin. But there are some picks that don't have hearings yet, like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Kash Patel. Do you have any concerns that those haven't been scheduled yet?
I know there are some issues in terms of getting the FBI background checks and some of the other paperwork done. Again, some of these things take time. But no, I think certainly Republicans in the Senate, we are absolutely dedicated to, as soon as everything's in order, to hold those hearings and take those confirmation votes, get people in their positions. President Trump needs fighters in place. It's not going to be easy to tame the deep state. He needs the people he wants serving his administration serving him.
So I want to pivot slightly because in just 1 week, President-elect Donald Trump will officially become the 47th president. And we know that one of the biggest things he'll have to address right out of the gate are the fires and what's happening right now in Los Angeles. I know Governor Gavin Newsom and his handling of it has been criticized widely. Here's what Newsom had to say in response to Trump's criticism of him. Take a listen to this.
Trump has blamed you for this crisis. He called you incompetent. What's your response?
Well, I called for him to come out, take a look for himself. We want to do it in the spirit of an open hand, not a closed fist. He's the president-elect. I respect the office. We have a president of the United States that within 36 hours provided a major disaster declaration over a text. We had support from the president of the United States, Joe Biden, with 100% reimbursement, all the resources you could hope for or imagine, constant communication. I'd like to extend that to the president-elect.
Senator, I just want to get your take on what you've seen and what you've heard coming out of California and the response from elected officials there.
Well, first of all, understand that all American taxpayers will pay for Gavin Newsom and other Democrat elected officials' incompetence. These fires never should have blazed out of control the way they did. This is completely preventable. It was predictable, which means it is preventable. President Trump, quite honestly, when he met with Governor Newsom years ago when he was president, predicted this, said this is what you need to do. You need to clean up your forests. You need to allow your reservoirs to be filled. You need to prevent these types of fires. And they didn't do it. Instead, they spent billions, tens of billions of dollars on climate change, and then they blamed climate change, and they absolved themselves of responsibility.
Yeah.
They're responsible for this. It is their incompetence, their governance, Democrat governance. Here's just another disaster, another big mess that President Trump's going to have to clean up after Democrats have been in power.
Yeah, Senator, to your point, your colleague from Maryland, Senator Ed Markey, blames the fires on Trump. He posted on X, Trump has been bought for $1 billion by big oil just to pay off to kill the IRA and the Green New Deal. We know what will happen. More fires, more climate disasters, more death. The LA fires are a preview of coming atrocities. Senator, did I miss something here? The fires occurred on their watch while radical climate Democrats control California. They control the White House. Do you think that when the disaster aid in the Senate comes through, that Congress will put some kind of limits on it, going, we're not wasting it on your nonsense, California. We're getting it to the people who've been hurt?
We certainly should. I certainly wouldn't vote for anything unless we see dramatic change in how they're going to be handling these things in the future. But again, these fires, the disaster, the catastrophe that these fires were, you can't prevent fires, but you can certainly prevent the catastrophe. It's all preventable. These are decisions Californian Democrats have made year after year after year. They divert water into the ocean. They don't fill up their reservoirs. Mm-hmm. They don't clean up their forests. They don't get rid of the underbrush, the real tinder, the real fuel for these fires. So again, it's their fault. Mm-hmm. And again, American taxpayers are going to be asked to bail out the incompetence, the destruction of Democrat governance. I'm personally sick of it.